So this is the Looking Glass, and I'm going to kind of go on a rant, but I'm going to do my best not to, but I am going to be honest. I know we're watching these feeds, these Karens. It's hilarious, right? It really is at first, and then it's not after a while. After a while, it's kind of sad. And I want to say it's safe to say these women are having a get out situation themselves. Could you imagine being married to, being raised by a white supremacist? It seems they simply want attention, but they only know envy, hate, fear, to covet either from each other or from others like us, chocolate melanin ladies. And they want us to respond to them with the only way that they understand any kind of sense of humanity, which is envy, hate, coveting off of people or after people, and fear. And I think they should know, and I think everyone should know, Black people are civil. Don't give it to them, y'all. So I know that's not the story white people tell, but let's all just sit back and let history record, then play back the behavior of what white supremacy looks like in the mind of white people. And let's also stop pretending like this isn't really a problem, that this is not at the root of our oppression and also of the corruption in this country. Call a spade a spade. Okay? We have 500 years and present of indisputable information. We should start talking about it and using it, not just by saying racism, say white supremacy. It's in you, it's in me. When I have to grow up and look at my light-skinned sister and be like, damn, am I not good enough? That's white supremacy, y'all. And we've been doing it too. When you see that there are Black men who only see value in white women because that's what the system says, how you look, what you look like, what it looks like when you have success. Well, y'all, that's white supremacy too. And sometimes it's just natural humanity, but white supremacy won't let us have that either. Yeah, we're civil. I don't know why there's not more of a mental health conversation going on in this country when it comes down to Karens, but there needs to be. And there also needs to be a study on white supremacy and what it does to the psyche. Because there's too many every week. Too many. Now, for Black folk, I understand some of the stuff we see out here, us fighting, and even, unfortunately, even the shootings. I understand. You know why? Because this is our trauma. This is the cage we've been living in for so long. And like, if you watch any mice in a cage that are trapped, they're gonna start turning on each other, especially when they only get crumbs. So if you create us to be like animals, this is what we're getting. This is the result of what you're getting. But guess what? Y'all got to look at your house. Stop. Don't go outside the house yet. Turn around and look at what's in there. Because you're living in a cage too. It's called white supremacy. It imprisons all of us. And right now, what it's showing us is its insanity. Continuously. It's never stopped. It's in every kind of whiteness. Okay, I'm going to say this again. If you look at Israel, look how they treat the Ethiopians. Let's just be honest here. It may sound harsh. It may be feeling uncomfortable, but it's real. And if we don't start talking about it using the words white supremacy and forcing the conversation to be talking about the root, which is white supremacy, we will never get anywhere. But we have to start there because the behavior is poisonous. So poisonous that it got Black people out here talking like they have lived the white experience, and they have not. When you have lawyers and professors and athletes, people who are doing well in their careers, still being pulled over and afraid of the police and have to explain away their prominence, none of us regular people get a chance to do. It's time to call the spade, y'all. So, timelines are going back to where they have been going. That's fine. Feeds have been going back to the places they have been before. But one thing we need to keep talking about is white supremacy, and stop being afraid to do so. You got to sacrifice something. We're going to sacrifice some of this fear for courage. We're going to sacrifice some of this depression for elevation. What are we going to sacrifice so we can get better? Because we got to be able to at least put on Front Street this BS of white supremacy and how it manifests itself out of us, and especially what it looks like when it's coming out of a racist white supremacist mouth who's very proud of it. And we can't let them wiggle their way out of it with the, you're a racist and all this projection that they do all the time. No. We watched you just tell us, I shall not say her name. We watched you just tell us that you watch a racist after 6:00 p.m. on Fox News every night who had to fire his own racist writer. And you got the nerve to be calling out Louis Farrakhan. This is one thing y'all have to remember. We don't have any evidence of the Nation of Islam or any other black group being a terrorist group and blowing up churches with white people in it. But we do have a story in Texas where a white man went and shot up a whole church of people that was his family. Mm-hmm. We don't have any situations where you have black people who belong to what particular church, I don't know, let's call it the Baptist church, just going in and just, I don't know, taking a gun and shooting down a whole mall of people because he felt like some people need to go back to their country. That don't happen. We may talk about the white supremacy and how nasty it is, but we don't have casualties. White supremacy does, though. So we're going to call a spade, or we're going to keep on pretending like what we're not seeing is not really happening in front of our eyes, in front of our children's eyes, so much that we all saw a little boy hide behind a car when he saw the police drive by. A child shouldn't even have that kind of trauma at that age, but he does. So we have a lot to reckon with. And I think the first place to start is with the word white supremacy. Say it every moment you have, because that's what we're living in, and that's what we have been living in. It has taken our identity. It has taken our spirituality. It has taken our economy. It has taken away our bodies. It's taken away our gifts, our entertainment, our ability to propel a whole country into the future where hip hop is the number one genre. Something that started and was treated like trash. But that's how we always do. We always overcome. And we always ignore white supremacy. Only people in the corners of America, the people who see it for what it is, who are unafraid to call it for what it is, the Farrakhan's of the world, which, by the way, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, some things Farrakhan says, I'm like, sir, that's a lot. But some of the things he says is the truth, among other black speakers. But at some point, we have to recognize there's a difference between what you say and what you do. And white supremacy has shown us time and time what it does and what it says. All we do is say and say and say and say Black Lives Matter, and say we want justice, and say we want equality, and say we just want to be able to live out our dream. We're always saying those things, but what we're doing is not what white supremacy is doing. So it's a long one, but I got to get it out, and we got to be honest. And it might sound harsh, and it may make people feel uncomfortable, but it's real. Call the spade a spade. Thank you. And deuces out.